gig-specific playlist. I'm DJ Spiegelspin, and in this video, we're going to talk about it. Alright, so one thing that I really struggled with when I first started DJing is I was not aware that you have to have a gig-specific playlist for every gig that you're going to do. Otherwise, it's going to be really stressful and it's not going to be fun to DJ. I used to just show up to where I was DJing and then just kind of wing it, using streaming services or just using music that I played recently. And it was really hard. I spent most of the time just looking at the iPad and typing in stuff, and it wasn't fun. So I've learned through a lot of hardship that every time you get a gig, let's say someone calls you and they say, "Oh, we're having a party, Sweet 16 next Friday at this venue." As soon as you find out that you have a gig coming up, you should start building a gig-specific playlist. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So although it is very important to have pre-made playlists, like for example over here I have the decades, the 90s, the 2000s. I have a sound effects playlist that always comes in handy. I have my intro playlist for my intros. But those are good to have as backups. Those are good to have in a pinch. Those are good to have if you weren't planning on doing a gig and you just ended up DJing. But gig-specific playlist will really make your gig experience so much better, and the audience will really appreciate it. So, how do we get started? As soon as you find out that you have a gig, there's a couple of questions that you're going to need to ask. Now, I use DJ Pro and the iPad, and then I DJ with the Tidal streaming service. So, other DJ software such as Serato, Virtual DJ, they have these streaming services. Or even if you don't use streaming services and you have a record pool or you download your music, this video will still help you. So, as soon as I find out that I'm having a gig, first question that you want to ask is, how long is the party going to be? So, if they tell you that the party is going to be a 5-hour party, then you have this very valuable information that you need to be playing consistent music, different songs every time for at least 5 hours. So, a good rule of thumb, and I say this in a lot of my videos, almost all my videos about playlists, is have double the amount of time than the party is going to be. So you're doing a 5-hour party, you want to have 10 hours of music. So let me just show you something here. This is an example of 4th of July. So this has 6 songs and it's 9 minutes. So if it was like a 3-minute party, then this would be good. But if you're doing a 5-hour party, then you're going to want this to say at least 10 hours. So it's going to be a lot more songs. And don't think that the more the better, because that couldn't be farther from the truth. Because if you have too many songs, then you're going to suffer from what they call paralysis of analysis, and you'll have too many stuff to choose from, and it'll make it even more difficult than having too little music. Think of it as if you go to a restaurant and they have a menu that's pages and pages and pages and pages, like at Cheesecake Factory, and it makes your decision more difficult because there's just too much stuff to choose from. So we want to find that sweet spot, and me personally and a lot of other DJs, and if you read DJ books and stuff like that, they'll tell you have double the music. I believe it maybe now that people have less attention spans and quick mixing is more popular, I would say do a little bit more. Do like 60 or even 75% more time than the party is going to be. And that way you could do these quick mixes. If you play a song that doesn't work, then you could quickly move on to the next song and you still have plenty of music to get you through. Another thing is find out more about the location. More about the person who the party's for. Information is your key. I used to think that DJs were just ninjas and they just had some skill that I didn't have, and they were always able to look confident and be playing all these great songs. But then I realized that it took hours and hours and weeks and days of work finding music and organizing these playlists for them to do that performance. So, find out who the party's for and the venue. So if they say the venue is at Bob's Catering Hall, then this is good information because you could call them and say, hey, I'm going to be DJing on this date. I have a couple questions. And my first questions that I ask, since I am a streaming and iPad DJ, I'll ask them, do you guys have Wi-Fi? Most places they'll have either a guest Wi-Fi or they'll have a Wi-Fi for the employees. And if you ask them nicely, they'll let you use the Wi-Fi. And now you don't have to worry about your music not loading. Another thing is if they say that they don't have Wi-Fi, and if it's not too far from me, I will drive down there. And if you see on my on the screen recording here, up here you could see that I have service. So I pay like $20 extra a month to have T-Mobile internet service, the same as my phone, on my iPad. So anywhere where my phone has service, my iPad will. Now with these catering halls and these venues, some of them are in basements, some of them will have very little to no service, which would be a problem. So I always like to just go there, check it out. If it's a public place like a bar or something, just go hang out, have a drink, and see if you can load songs. So now that you know that your songs are going to load, you have to find out what kind of songs. So the venue could help you with ideas. So I remember a couple years ago, I did a Christmas party and it was at a firehouse. So I played songs like Lil Wayne, Fireman. I played, I think it's Shaggy or Sean Kingston, Fire Burning on the Dance Floor. And people really appreciate that. Maybe if it's an outdoor event and it's going to be rainy, you could play songs like Thunder and stuff like that, so that the crowd knows that you're not just all focusing on your screen, all in your own head. You're focusing on the crowd and you're present with the environment. And I found that this goes very well. You know, if it's a party at a Mexican restaurant, a party at a sushi place, you could throw in some more ethnic stuff that will increase the vibe of the party. Now, the next thing that I would recommend is all of these songs. So not only do you have to pick all of the songs for the party, you have to set cue points for every single song that you choose. So this will help you so much, because as soon as you load up one of these tracks, let me give you an example. So as soon as you load up one of these tracks, you will know exactly where to start and where to end it. Where is my playlist? Okay, so let's do this song, for example. So if we look at my cue points here, now DJ Pro has these color-coded cue points. You could change the name of all of them. I believe most other DJ softwares have this ability, so you could do it on your software of choice. But every single song that's in these playlists for this specific gig are going to have at least 2 cue points for when you're going to start the song, a good place to mix in, and a good place to mix out. This way you're not jumbling up lyrics together, you're not missing the best parts, you're not playing parts nobody wants, you're playing the best parts of the song with every single song. So instead of loading up a song and having to guess, or loading it up and having to listen to your headphones, you already know what you're going to do when that song plays. This one thing has helped me so much. It's a huge step up from just having a playlist. It's having a playlist that is all organized with these cue points. Now, it's the biggest tip that I could give you. So, I hope this helped you guys with your next gig and to be more organized. As a DJ, the more organized you are, the more fun you're going to have. The more fun you have, the more fun the crowd's going to have. And it's just a win-win situation, and it will help further your career and get booked for more paid gigs. So, if you found value in this video, give it a like. If you like learning about DJing with the iPad, the future of DJing, and how to DJ with DJ Pro, subscribe to this channel. I make these videos several times a week.